Hello and welcome to the Pokémon Presents! Obviously there's I didn't unmute the audio. Obviously there's going to be something in here related to... That's crazy. What's going on with the chat box over there? You see that? That's crazy. There's going to be something in this showcase related to Pokemon ZA. Because, like, that's their most upcoming game. So clearly there's going to be something in here related to that. We don't know what. Yeah, let's dive in. Oh, also, I wanted to say, we're doing showcases different from now on. I'm changing the way that we do showcases. I'll talk about it again during the 12-hour when we get there, but it matters for today. I'm changing the way that we do showcases. Rather than just watching the showcase and talking over the trailers, it always bothers me when I do that because I end up missing things. If I have more to say than just, oh, that was cool, then we're going to pause the showcase and we're going to talk. That's how these are going to work from now on. So we're going to pause. So it's not going to be the same length of showcase anymore. Like, this is a 20-minute showcase here. It's not going to be... the VOD isn't going to end up being 20 minutes because we're going to pause and communicate and chat and talk, because this is, that's what this stream and this content is about. It's about interaction, and it's about getting my feelings on things and getting your guys' feelings on things. If you wanted just the showcase raw, then just go watch the showcase, you know, like if you didn't want my opinions on these things or to have the interaction between us of your opinions, then just go watch the showcase on your own. I still am going to, like, talk over it a little, of course. Like, I'm not going to pause for every single little bit. But, again, if I have anything more to say than just like, oh, that looked cool, then we're going to pause. Okay? Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ishihara.
Hello. Hi, Ishihara.
Today, February 27, is Pokemon Day. This is the date the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games were first released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokemon series. It's been 29 years since the birth of Pokemon, and we've reached this milestone through the support of all you trainers around the world.
Through capitalism.
It's now possible to enjoy Pokemon each day in a variety of ways. We hope to keep bringing you new experiences to brighten your day-to-day lives with Pokemon. In today's broadcast, we'll be sharing all the latest news about Pokemon, including our newest titles. Please enjoy the presentation.
Do you think at the end of the showcase they're going to change out the Pokemon that's behind him because of the new game?
At the Pokemon Resort on a tropical island.
Am I going to get copyright strikes for this?
Finding her feet as a new concierge, and Psyduck as they grow together through their interactions with the resort's Pokemon guests. Its charm lies in the warm visuals that can be achieved only through stop-motion animation. And new episodes of Pokemon
I need to watch the first season.
They are slated for release in September 2025. What sort of Pokemon will Haru and Psyduck welcome as guests next? Take a first look at a few of the Pokemon they will meet in this motion test footage. Just look at the personality and how they move. But there's more.
Just look at the personality and how they move.
Episodes are available to watch on Pokemon's official YouTube channel for free. Please take this chance to watch them if you haven't been able to tune in to Pokemon Concierge yet. And we hope you look forward to the new episodes as well.
Yo, personal space, Pikachu! Come on! Social distancing!
Next, we have a number of other announcements to share with you.
Wait a minute.
Next, one. Hello, everyone.
I could make that a transition. I have the ability. I have the power.
I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon Company. Next, we have a number of other announcements to share with you.
In Pokemon Go Tour Unova Global will take place on March 1st and March 2nd. This event can be enjoyed at no cost from anywhere in the world where Pokemon Go is available. During the event, the legendary Pokemon Black Kyurem and White Kyurem will appear in raid battles and elsewhere. Also, trainers will soon have a chance to encounter Victini and Shiny Meloetta. We'll also share promo codes for everyone to enjoy. We hope you're looking forward to the new Season 2.
Omega and Alpha, but where's Sigma? Is this more Pokemon Go stuff?
Let's ride this wave! Surf's up!
Surf's up!
Let's give it up!
Curse you!
My favorite Pokemon trainer or gym leader, Brendan.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't this just a match 3 game? I tried this and it's kind of boring. Isn't it just a match 3 game? Not even. Easier? Oh, really? Darkrai. Darkrai's coming to Pokemon Sleep? That can't be good. It's Darkrai, right? Am I crazy? I don't know Pokemon that well. Is there a story to Pokemon Sleep? That animation was good, though. Do people still play Pokemon Unite? I haven't heard anyone talk about it since, like, a month outside of its release.
Remote Stadium will be returning to ranked matches. Enjoy intense battles in the unforgettable Remote Stadium. A new type of battle is also arriving, called First to 500. In it, a new feature called AOS technology
Is this
allows
their
you to
version of ARAM or whatever?
You score a certain number of points. Plus,
No.
look forward to an updated map with updated wild Pokemon. The win condition is simple. Be the first
No,
to
it's
score
not.
500 points.
You can say literally any competitive game and follow it up with, but not as toxic as League of Legends, and you would be correct. Literally any single one. Every single one. Y'all remember back in the day? Wrong button. Y'all remember back in the day, like when you were growing up and stuff, and like you'd be sitting there and you'd be like watching TV, and there'd be like a commercial that came on, and it was like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it was like the little cereal dudes, and they were like alive, and they're like walking around and stuff, or like so on and so forth. Like it's so many different things of like these like Pop-Tarts, where like the Pop-Tarts are alive and stuff. Y'all remember that stuff? I feel like that is like, or toaster strudels, they did it for that too. You know, like they have the hamburger helper, which is kind of like that, you know, all that stuff, right? That was them trying to make cereal entertaining and in turn fun and in turn make you remember it and buy it. I feel like what we just watched is the same thing, where they really have to try to make cards look attractive in a way for a commercial. Because, like, obviously people who are really into cards are really into cards. You know, it's good art. You know, there are collectors out there. There are people that play the actual game. Or in this case, the trading card pocket, you know, the digital game, right? People like this stuff, and I'm not saying that people don't, you know, but ads aren't for people who are into it, right? Like that's something that you have to keep in mind. Marketing isn't for the people who are already fans of it. Marketing is for people who aren't fans of it, right? So they have to make the card look attractive. They have to make this card look cool to sell people who aren't into cards. So in turn, we got a, I don't even know, 30-second ad of this like animation of this card becoming shiny. Ooh, like that's what that just was. It's overcompensating? Yeah. But they kind of have to. See, it's like this shit. None of this has to do with what it is. You know? Somebody got paid a buttload of money to make that ad, which is cool. But, like, none of that had anything to do with what the card is. You know?
Next, allow me to share some news about the Pokémon video game series. In the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet games, we're celebrating Pokémon Day with a Rotom phone case giveaway.
That's cool. My phone case broke over my long weekend.
Along with a
My
mass
real one.
outbreak event and other in-game events to come.
Is this guy? Oh,
And other
is this guy right here a Pokemon? I've never seen this guy before.
A mighty Meowscarada, Skeledirge, and Quaquaval will appear in a series of Terra Raid battle events.
It looks like a small child in a costume.
And even more Pokémon are planned to appear in the future. We hope you continue to enjoy the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet games. Next, please have a look at this video.
God, the link cable. Pokemon air conditioner. You think I'm gonna get copyrighted for this? They skipped a couple DS's there, but that's chill. Huh? Is it Coliseum? Have y'all ever watched Black Mirror? There's an episode of Black Mirror which is like a commentary on like VR, where like you put on a full suit and like you get into a fighting game, and inside of the fighting game it just ends up being, I think if my memory serves, two grown straight men fucking. I'm pretty sure that's what the episode is, where they enter VR and it's just two grown straight men fucking. Yeah, straight, you know? But one is like a female model, so you know. Anyways, that's what that just reminded me of. Okay, let's continue. Pokémon Champions. That told me nothing of what it is, other than the fact that it is on both iOS and Switch, and that they can connect together. That's all that told. That said nothing. That was nothing. That was a nothing burger. It's a battle game. They didn't show any gameplay. They didn't show any gameplay.
On the Pokemon battles you know and love from core Pokemon games.
It's just for battling? They didn't show any gameplay.
Pitting your skills against those of other trainers from around the world. But this time, we're aiming for these core-style battles to be enjoyed by more players than ever before. Game Freak, the developer of the core games, is carrying out the planning for this project, while development is being handled by the Pokemon Works.
What is the Pokemon Works?
Pokemon Champions will be coming not only to the Nintendo Switch family of systems, but to mobile.
Listen, like, I'm not gonna say that the idea is bad. It's a good idea.
Based on where you are.
But like, no game, no hype.
What's more, you can also connect with Pokemon.
They didn't show any gameplay.
Thanks to this connectivity, you won't be limited to using Pokemon you can partner up with in Pokemon Champions. You'll be able to team up with Pokemon who joined you on your adventures in previous Pokemon games. We hope you're looking forward to battling Pokemon trainers from all corners of the world.
That's got to be impossible to balance, which I guess is just true for modern day Pokemon, but like,
regarding the launch date of Pokemon Champions.
You know.
Next, we'd like to share some information.
Can I explain why this does... I keep doing that. Can I explain why this doesn't fall under no game, no hype? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure you can. But for me, they didn't show any gameplay, so it's no hype. There you go. Yeah, sure. Because take the battling as in Scarlet Violet now. And that's it. I never fixed that. Okay, I hear you. But they didn't show that. I hear you. I hear you. I get that. But they didn't show that. So, like, we could say that about literally any of the games. Like, you could say fucking, from Pokemon Fire Red, because it's in color, right? We take Fire Red and you're like, take Fire Red, but put it in 3D. All right, you have modern day Pokemons, you know? Add in a gimmick. You have modern day Pokemons, you know? Like, I get that. I understand that. And I get that every single Pokemon game has been the same. Which is a reason why I don't like it. I get that. I get that every single Pokemon game has been the same. But that's not what they showed. So I know that, like, the fighting is probably going to function the same way as Scarlet and Violet. Right? I understand that the fighting is going to function the same way. I get that. Right? I know that when Pokemon uses fucking Tail Whip, it's gonna be a Tail Whip, right? Like, I get that. I understand that. But they didn't show anything. So we don't know if these things have full animations. We don't know if it's like classic Pokemon, where the Pokemon goes, and that's the move. Like, we don't know. They didn't show anything. So we don't know nothing. I don't know if the Pokemon just gonna disappear and then there's gonna be a flame tornado all of a sudden. We don't know. They used the Scarlet and Violet engine, it looks like, for that animation, but they didn't show that. That's what I'm saying. That's what no game, no hype is. We can assume that it is, in fact, Scarlet and Violet, and that it is just exactly that combat. We can assume that, but they didn't show anything, so we don't know that. We don't know anything. There's nothing solid here. We can assume that it functions like Pokemon Coliseum, but we don't know that, right? All we know is that it connects, that you can play on your Switch or your phone, and it has crossplay. That's all we know. And that there's battling. So, it's also not a full game. It's an app simulator for VGC battling. There's a high chance it'll be free. It probably will be. It's a mobile game, so it probably will be. But yeah, it's like these are things that we can assume, right? Like we can assume that it is not a full game, but we don't know, and that's the problem, is that we don't know, and until we know, it is a no game, no hype situation. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Am I still wrong? Do you still think I'm wrong? Do you still think I'm wrong even though I'm right and I'm always right and I'm never wrong about anything ever? I'm always right. I'm perfect. I'm perfection. I'm the best creator ever and I never get anything wrong except for all the things that I get wrong. Right? I'm hyped because I predicted it, and that's cool, right? Like, you can still be excited that something is happening, right? But you have to have, like, what no game, no hype actually means is that, like, is that while you can be excited that something is happening, you have to have a grain of salt there. There has to be a grain of salt of, like, but we don't know what it is, so it could be bad. You know, you can look at something and be like, I'm looking forward to that, and not be hype. Right? Does that make sense? You know, it's not like it's different. They're different things of like, I'm looking forward to that versus like, I'm hype for this, right? It's like, it's different things, right? But I know what it is based on what they said, but they didn't show anything. They didn't show anything. It could be bad. We don't know. It could be horrible. We don't know.
Please take it away.
Saludos a todos desde la nueva oficina de Pokémon en la hermosa ciudad de
Are
México.
they not gonna? Hell,
Soy Tomás Cortijo.
what? Why don't you have a translator?
Please take it away.
Saludos a
Hello
todos.
from our new Pokemon office in beautiful Mexico City.
Soy Tomás Cortijo, director regional.
It's going too fast. Regional director at the Pokemon Company International.
El día de hoy, estoy
Today, I'm so happy to announce
que Pokémon Champions
the Pokemon Champions will be playable in Latin American Spanish at launch.
De igual forma,
Also, in addition to the 9 languages that trainers can currently choose to play in,
Leyendas
Pokemon Legends ZA will also be playable in Latin American Spanish,
Esto significa
which brings the number of playable languages of the Pokemon series up to 10 languages going forward. And as previously announced,
las futuras
future expansions of the beloved Pokemon trading card game
estarán también
will also be available in Latin American Spanish.
localizar
The
productos
localization of our products like Pokemon in Latin American Spanish enables millions of new fans to join
fans se unan a la comunidad global de Pokémon y se conecten
and connect with the global Pokemon communities like never before.
como parte
As the Pokemon Company Group,
Este es un claro
it is an example of the embodiment that to bring the world together through Pokemon.
saber que
Knowing that fans can fully enjoy Pokemon when it's in their own regional language.
nos permite
We're
explorar
constantly exploring how we can best accommodate our
de
fans
diferentes regiones.
in more of our markets like Latin America.
Este es un momento
It's an amazing time to be a Pokemon fan no matter where you are in the world.
parte del mundo te encuentres, por lo que no puedo
And I
esperar
can't wait to join you all on these new
en sus
adventures.
próximas aventuras. Nos vemos pronto.
See you soon. Yeah, I can see why they didn't have a translator for that. That really only was big news for people who speak Spanish.
ZA.
Is this game based on France? Must be. Why does the grass still look like shit? We got gliding. Why does every game gotta have a glider? So let me clarify, chat. This isn't the X and Y region? It is? Alright, maybe I need to play X and Y. Dog. Why's the dog got a butthole? Chad, did you see that? Chad, why's the dog got a butthole? Chad, why did they give the dog a butthole? Chad, why did they do that? Chad, why did they give the dog... Chad, why did they give the dog a butthole? Chad, why did the butthole glow? Chad, what did that dog eat? Can I pet that dog? Chad, why'd they give the dog a butthole?
Pokémon Legends ZA is a new title in the Pokémon series. The story takes place in Lumiose City, the largest city in the Kalos region. Prism Tower stands tall at the center of this city of beautiful vistas. These days, Lumiose is undergoing a high-tech urban redevelopment plan to turn it into a city that people and Pokémon truly share. After you arrive in Lumiose City to see the sights, you'll meet 3 Pokémon, one of which will become your first partner: Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile.
You ever see a dog bark, their buttholes go pop? When I was, back when, like, years ago, my now unfortunately passed away dog, Rusty, one day he was barking real hard at the back door. He was barking real hard at it, very angry, and he barked so hard that he pooped. And because he was barking so intensely, the poop like shot out. Like it was like, it didn't like boop, it was like poof. Like it had like velocity to it because he was so angry.
You'll choose one of these Pokémon to accompany you on a new journey as you get to know Lumiose City and its inhabitants.
Hi Ace, how are you?
Here are some of the colorful characters you'll encounter. When you arrive in Lumiose, you'll meet a new friend and ally, either Urbane
I like him.
or Tawny. The hotel where you'll be staying is run by AZ.
What decides if it's Urbane or Tolly? Is that different versions? There's only one version, right?
Managed by Quasartico Inc. You'll become acquainted with the company's CEO Jet and her secretary Vinny.
Thanks, Pay. What the fuck just happened to me?
Time in Lumiose all the richer.
Did I just die? What just happened to me? I was talking over it.
The different people you meet will make your time in Lumiose all the richer. The different people you meet will make your time in Lumiose.
She looks like she would call me a slur. You know what I mean?
Lumiose all the richer. To help people and Pokémon coexist, the city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumiose, give wild Pokémon habitats where they can thrive.
This is the Arceus team, right?
Pokémon, aim carefully, then throw a Pokéball. If you're having a hard time catching one, have one of your Pokémon use its moves to weaken the target, making it easier to catch.
People didn't like Arceus, right? Because I didn't like Arceus, but I don't like these games.
Style of Pokémon battling not seen in previous titles. Moves can have a longer or shorter reach, or different areas of effect. So choose your timing and positioning carefully to gain the upper hand. Lead your partner Pokémon through battles and dodge incoming attacks. Swap Pokémon if you need to.
People loved Arceus? Oh, okay. I didn't like it. I thought it was bad.
What's more, certain Pokémon can go beyond evolution by undergoing Mega Evolution.
I own it. It's back there. I just didn't like it.
With the Mega Stone held by their Pokémon, the Pokémon will do more than just change shape.
It was very grindy.
Unlock a new level of power, turning the tide of battle in its favor. As Lumiose continues its transformation into a city that belongs to both people and Pokémon, who knows what kinds of encounters and experiences will await you. Pokémon Legends ZA.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coming late 2025.
I like the ideas that this trailer presents. I like the idea that, like, because Arceus was all about, like, exploring vast landscapes, you know? This one is more like a city-based thing, and I like that they're trying out that vibe, because, like, what is it called? It's, is it just Open City? Is that what they called it? I can't remember the exact term. Back when Grand Theft Auto 3 was created, right? People started to throw around the term that is now dead. Nobody really uses it. It didn't pick up. But people started throwing around a term that was called Open City. Open City basically is the same thing as open world, except it is specifically for games within a city, or more specifically a dense open world kind of city, if that makes sense. It never picked up because, again, it's basically just open world, but not in a open landscape, right? Like, so it never picked up. We just use open world instead. But many open city games guaranteed, like the GTA franchise or Cyberpunk 2077. Like, there are many examples of this idea of the open city kind of game. So I like the idea that they're taking the open world that they had in Arceus, and they're trying out an open city vibe, because as far as I know, while there are segments of that in Scarlet and Violet, they've never really done that. And even then, Scarlet and Violet still kind of... I mean, I guess it doesn't have zones. I guess that was the first game that didn't really have zones. It kind of still did, from my remembering of other people's content. But not really. Regardless, I digress. So I like the idea of them doing this open city vibe, right? However, I don't think this was a good trailer, if that makes sense. I don't know if that means that this game is bad. I see that chat is also saying similar things of me, that they didn't like this trailer. I don't necessarily know if that means the game is bad. Because this is the first instance of us seeing any gameplay at all. But at the very least, this was not a well-made trailer. This trailer did not present this game in a good light. I also still don't like the art style they're going with this. They kind of used the same art style from Arceus in Scarlet and Violet, and now this. However, it looked better in Scarlet and Violet to me. Granted, the game also played very badly. It was a very badly optimized video game. But still, I didn't like the way that Arceus looked. I think Arceus looked disgusting. And I feel as though this isn't much better from that. And I think it needs to be better than that. Because, like, Pokemon is really good. Like, art style-wise, like, artistically, Pokemon is very good. You know, everything that is Pokemon looks good, right? Like, think of all the mobile games in your head of, like, that one coffee shop one that we seen earlier. Like, that game looks good. All of the shows and the movies, they all look good. Like, Pokemon artistically is really good. But these worlds that they're making now, this just doesn't look attractive. And, like, we're talking about a fictional version of France. France is all about, like, meadows and shit. Like, France is supposed to be, like, these bright colors and stuff like that. Like, and that's not what this is. This looks dull and washed out. Which, so did Arceus, but this isn't Arceus. Arceus was made with the goal of it looking kind of like a ancient storybook, not necessarily storybook, but like you're reading off of like a scroll, you know, like that kind of style of like the ink paintings from like feudal Japan, like that kind of thing. Yeah, feudal, yeah. That doesn't translate to what this game's narrative is, of what this game's setting is. I wish this was more poppy, if that makes sense. I don't know. So here's my issue with this game so far. Let me take a drink first. So here's my issue with this game so far. 1, they doubled down on the art style from Scarlet and Violet. 2, you didn't like the art style from Scarlet and Violet? I thought it looked good. I think it could be better, granted. Ever since Gen 8, backgrounds of buildings have felt like such dioramas. 3, they doubled down on Scarlet and Violet's art for the backgrounds, especially Paris/Lumiose look so washed out and flat and blocky. 4, Pokemon needs to stop trying to look realistic. 5, they need to hire a team like how Tomb Raider is made, where one team works on the character/combat and the other works on the environment and puzzles. Maybe that would be the solution. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. All I know is that, having watched this trailer now, this failed to excite me. Because, like, I've said this before, Pokemon fans will buy anything. Like, the hardcore of the hardcore, Pokemon fans will buy anything. Like, let's be honest. Hey, Vic, are you going to buy this game? Because, like, I think that, like, most Pokemon fans will. I think most Pokemon fans will buy this game. Because Pokemon fans, like, the hardcore of the hardcore Pokemon fans, I kind of have to. Exactly. It's like, like the hardcore of Pokemon fans would buy a actual turd if it had a Pokemon logo on it. If it had like a Pokeball as a cherry, right? Pokemon fans would buy a turd. Like, so this game's going to sell regardless. But it, again, as I said earlier in this showcase, trailers and marketing and ads aren't made for the fans of the thing. The fans of the thing are going to buy it regardless. This stuff doesn't exist for them. It exists for me. For people who are outside of that fan base. For people who don't like that stuff. People who they want to get into the franchise. Because it's all capitalism, and capitalism is growth. It's all about growth. So, me, a person who isn't into Pokemon, a person who dislikes Pokemon, this failed to sell it to me. That's all I know. That's all I know. Well, that was definitely a teaser for something.
Pokemon Legends ZA is scheduled to release in late 2025. We hope everybody can wait just a little longer for their
There's that giant Gardevoir. Never mind, I'm playing it.
adventures in Lumiose City to begin. That concludes our announcements for today. Thank you very much for watching.
Wait a minute. I don't want to talk about all that. Wait a minute. I just realized. If Pikachu is watching the presentation, and we were watching, then how did these transitions happen? Oh, is this not where it was? Hang on. Where was the transition? Is it right here? Is this one of them? So, like, So Pikachu exists both outside of the TV and inside of the TV? I mean, I guess the real answer here is that there are multiple Pikachu. You know, like Pikachu isn't one person, you know? I guess that's the answer, but like but I guess.
Holy shit, it's Drew Sunn from YouTube Drew's at 1 point.
It is! Thank you for the sub. I hope you enjoy your emotes and your balloons. That was the Pokemon Presents. How you doing, Mel? That was the Pokemon Presents. Not really anything here. I agree with y'all that this was a disappointing presentation. All they really had to show was that thing at the end, I feel as though everything else was kind of tacked in here so that they had something to say. But I feel as though the Pokemon ZA trailer is all they really had to talk about, and in turn, they should have held back and just showed that during the Switch 2 presentation in April. That's what they should have did. And it'll probably be there. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I would not be surprised if it was there, but yeah, that was rough.